students. So, this is the last topic of our chapter 2, Rights in the Indian Constitution. That is the conclusion. Let us revise what all we have studied in this chapter, under this chapter, Rights. So, what were the rights? All the responsibilities, all the protections, all the things which have government provided you for the benefit of the human beings. That is the right. So we have studied the introduction of the rights. Then we have even studied the importance of rights, like how the rights are so important for each and everybody of us, how the rights benefit us. Then we have studied from where these rights originated, the Bill of the Rights. Then we have studied all the six fundamental rights in our Indian Constitution. So those were, you all are aware, like right to equality, right to freedom of religion, right against exploitation, right to constitutional remedies, right to liberty and personal freedom, cultural educational right of minority groups. So we have studied all these fundamental rights. Then we have even studied about the uh, like every ride in brief, in details, so that you'll be clear with each and every ride, how these rights are protecting you, how these rights are for the betterment of the human beings. Then we have studied about the red students, like if anybody is exploiting you or if anybody is getting exploited against the fundamental rights, then they can always go to the court, knock their door by the help of certain application which we know in terms of writs, like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, certiorari. These all were the writs which any people can use for filing of the application in the court for the protection of your fundamental rights. Then we have studied about the Human Rights Commission, how your human rights will be taken care of. We have studied about the DPSPs, that is Directive Principle of State Policies. We have studied all the state policies very, very briefly. We have studied about the fundamental duties of citizens. Then we have studied about the relationship between fundamental rights and directive principles. Then we have studied about the right to property. In our last lecture, we have studied about the right to property. So that's all comprises of this chapter. So now let's come on a brief, crisp conclusion. In the writings of Jyotirao Phule, 1827 to 1890, a radical social reformer from Maharashtra, we find one of the earliest expression of the view that rights include both freedom and equality. During the national movement, the idea of rights was further sharpened and expanded to constitutional rights. Our constitution reflected this long tradition and listed the fundamental rights. Since 1950, the judiciary has functioned as an important protector of rights. So, student, ज्योतिराव फूले ने बताया था कि हाउ सोसाइटी इज रिफॉर्मिंग. ये जो आइडिया आया था टू हैव राइट्स, वो कैसे आया था? बहुत पहले 1950 में इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस देखी गई कि अगर लोगों को उनके अधिकार मिले तो कैसे हमारी सोसाइटी डेवलप हो सकती है, कैसे लोगों को प्रोटेक्ट किया जा सकता है, कैसे देश को और तरक्की मिल सकती है. So, judicial interpretation have expanded the scope of right in many respects. So, हमने कानूनन तरीके से देखा है कि कैसे राइट्स के बूते, अधिकारों के बूते इसको और ज़्यादा तरीके से देखा जा सकता है. The government and administration of our country function within its overall framework. Right enforces limitation on the functioning of the government and ensure democratic governance of the country. तो उन्होंने देखा कि जो गवर्नमेंट है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है, अगर उनको एक प्रॉपर फ्रेमवर्क मिले, एक प्रॉपर तरीका मिले, तो कैसे अधिकारों के बूते लिमिटेशंस भी मिल सकती हैं और साथ ही साथ गवर्नमेंट को ایک آزادی بھی مل سکتی ہے لوگوں تک پہنچنے کی. لوگ کیسے خوش رہ سکتے ہیں، ڈیموکریٹک رہ سکتے ہیں، اور کیسے لوگوں کو اپنے ادھیکاروں کے پرتی جاگروک ہونے کے بعد وہ کیسے دیش کی ترقی میں سہایتا کر سکتے ہیں.